There you go. And she's the black outfit with the ponytail. And as we look at both players, we have
Between Lana and Kaitlyn, best 5 games, Lana serves the ball.
Squash XL Pro is an elite team that work hard to train, play and run squash events on our journey to climb the world rankings. Like, subscribe, comment, pick up some of our merch on Teespring.
we have Lana Harrison, who has been in the top 100, I think. Her highest ranking was 98 in the world, currently around about 300. There you go, a little bit of a false start. Lana likes to get things started. Kaitlyn had a little bit of a break from the game. She's only 20 years old, has been as high as I think 97 in the world or thereabouts. And good to have her back in the game. Former New Zealand junior champion. She's also been in the senior women's team. And the winner of this will take on Emma Miller in the final 2:45 tomorrow. Joining me now, John Fletcher. You had a little bit of a play in the tournament yourself, but you've been the organiser of the Barfoot and Thompson Summer Series. You've got to be happy so far, albeit that we had a bit of a lull with the COVID in there.
Yes, yeah. It's probably the third tournament that we've had. Unfortunately, the Auckland Open was postponed until the end of May, but that was due to happen a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, to have these challenger events and a bunch of satellite events as well, it's been very pleasing to see the great squash, the great quality of players that have been turning out for them, and the club players have been getting behind them and supporting them as well.
And this is your club, Royal Oak, and they've been right behind all the players, and it's certainly been at times hard to move. They've been struggling to have a bit of area. So the club itself has got to be happy so far anyway.
Yes, very much so. It's the first chance I've actually had. It's the second year of the summer series, but last year they had 2 attempts that were both cancelled thanks to COVID lockdowns. So it's their first chance to actually get the PSA players out here and playing. But yeah, very happy that they've had around about 115 entries overall for the weekend. So it's been very busy and great to get these players along here.
Just a false step there, and that one just hit the line.
3-1.
All right, so we are back into it, and it is 3-1. Interesting for me to watch Kaitlyn to see if there's been any change to her game. She was New Zealand's top junior.
Yeah, it's great to
for
see
a little
her
while actually.
Yeah, great to see her back on the court. Very interesting to see how she goes against Lana, who herself's probably about 3 years back into the game as well after an extended absence. So yeah, we'll sort of see where Kaitlyn's level's at, and maybe if she plays a few more tournaments, be able to see her continue to improve through those. But it's certainly added an extra element to these tournaments.
I think sometimes just the extra physicality of being not 18 anymore, but now 20 years old, just recently 20. Just that little bit of physicality will help her. Perhaps she's stronger than in the past as well.
Yeah, having that break certainly helps as well. I think she played since she was a little kid and been age group champions all the way through. So to probably have that break, it's a good time for a lot of players to have a break. You don't lose a lot when you're 18 years old, 19 years old, and taking it off. So yeah, we'll see how long it takes to get right back up to speed again.
Very strong off that backhand. Well, we all know that Lana Harrison likes to hit it and hit it hard. Perhaps a lack of patience on that particular one. You can see Kaitlyn's just happy to keep her in the rally, but has her own strong shots as well, though.
Certainly going to be key.
Well, she's forced 2 errors there, hasn't she?
Yes, Lana's certainly going to be patient here. Kaitlyn's not going to give her anything.
That was what you call a sitter.
Yeah, that's the patience we were talking about. Just a bit too eager there to put it away. Just gone for a bit of length and tried to get it in the back corner, but too low.
And John, as we watch this second women's semi-final, Around how many members, squash members, would Royal Oak have?
They were around 350, 400.
That's significant.
Yes.
And that's just squash, or
Yep.
because we've got the tennis courts here as well.
They sure do.
And it's a strong tennis club.
Courts. One of the bigger squash clubs around. Probably one of the oldest as well.
It's had some good club members here. I think on the wall you can see a few big names.
Yeah, there's a bit of history at this club here. Had a few Cousin Shield winning teams over the past 20 years.
Sorry. 5-7.
We've still got that 2-point buffer, and it's good. I don't mind some questioning. You know, a little bit of questioning.
It helps the players to understand what the ref's looking at and what they're thinking in certain situations.
That's a better shot. It was interesting with Tim and Luamba here with me, and both players listened to the calls and then thinking what they would have seen on the court against what they saw from up here.
Yeah, sometimes they're different things. Being down on the court, it can feel like it's a bit different than what you're seeing sort of at the back of the stand. So, yeah. I mean, sometimes the questioning is not always malicious. It's a case of just trying to figure out what the referee's looking at and you can adjust your game to that.
Broke the wall. Hand out, 8-6.
And a fair call on that. It would have taken off any shot, would have taken off Lana's
Easy
head.
one there for the referee.
Still a lot of strokes in the first men's semi-final. In fact, I think there was 5 or 6 between Luamba and Elijah. And it wasn't that they were being so physical against each other. It's just
Sometimes it doesn't take much. Just slightly clip the side wall for it to shoot out into the middle.
Hand out, 7-8.
And John, your own squash. You had a clash with Apa Whare Loafer, I think. Was that in the first game?
I did, yep. The first round of the PSA. Didn't go terribly well, playing someone well under half my age. But a good experience nonetheless. It's a couple of good games today, so yeah. I think the body's going to need a bit of recovery tomorrow and a few days after that.
So a nice little fight back there from Lana Harrison. She was down by about 2 or 3 points, now back to 8 all.
Yes, Lana from the left, 8-all.
What's interesting there, we had the same thing with Emma Miller, getting a few lets by letting the ball really come back across the court, whereas the men tend to go forward to it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you don't quite get the same lets like that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer to play that as well. You've got the whole half of the court there, so you can get a good angle into the back corners and hopefully get it to die rather.
It's different styles, but you do notice the difference.
Yeah, for sure.
9-8.
There's room there to play it. You want to make the most of it and get the player out of position.
Hand out, 9-all.
Good to see a little bit of fire there in Kaitlyn Watts. I think she is the youngest of 8, or something very similar to that. There's a
I
lot
think
of
you're correct. Yeah.
and a few squash players in the family as well.
Yes, there is. Yeah, I played with one of her brothers growing up down in Palm actually. Joseph, a very good player in his own right.
Stroke to Harrison, hand out, 10-9, game ball.
Questionable as a player.
Yeah, couldn't get a good swing at that one. I think kind of exaggerated a little bit. But trying to play it.
Two strokes to finish off that first game.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Lana Harrison straight away into it, doesn't like to hesitate. And if she does take on Emma Miller in the final, it's going to be a quick one no matter what.
Yes. Even if it's 5, it'll be a quick one.
Yeah, exactly. Got some players who like to take their time, and Lana Harrison and Emma Miller are not those players.
No.
We've got a little frown there from Kaitlyn Watts, but I think she ended up having to agree with it. And, just at the end of the first game, Kaitlyn Watts, 2 strokes against her. No real argument with those strokes. No let this time.
No let, and now 1 more.
I guess it's a lot of room to play that one. She was just 1 point before to play the ball.
Oh, we couldn't go 3 in a row, could we, to start the second?
No.
Would have been a bit boring. Oh, nice. Punching it into the backhand corner.
A lot of pace in
And that's in. Just. So, John, we've seen that Kaitlyn Watts just hasn't had the big match practice. I mean, she's had a couple of matches so far, but
Yeah, it seems to be the way. Lana's putting a lot of pace on at the start of this game, just trying to get a bit of a lead, and Kaitlyn taking a few deep breaths at the end of that last one.
well, if she does lose this, and we've got a little way to go yet. I hope that this has given her back that energy and that zest for the game again.
Yeah, I would hope so. It's great to see her back in the fold again. There's a lot more big tournaments that come up this year, a whole bunch more PSA satellites and challenges as well, so great to see her getting up some of those.
So the next thing for someone like Kaitlyn would be the Auckland Open.
So,
Was there anything in between that we know of, or could
so
it
there's
have been?
a bunch of satellite events in May. There's Waikato Open, followed by the Bay Plenty Open,
Right.
and then we've got a series of 3 in Auckland with Pemio Open, Browns Bay Open.
So are the players actually going to get a rest at all?
Not really. No, they don't need a rest.
Effectively have tournaments just about every week leading up to the Auckland Open at the end of May, and then the National Champs, which is in Wellington, that is in June.
End of June, yeah.
Well, we can't have the national travel, international travel that is.
No.
There's plenty to do here. Nice. Oh, punching it. All 4 corners of the court there, and a lot of running, firstly by Kaitlyn, then Lana Harrison.
It's a great rally there. Very fast paced.
3-4.
And so fast that Lana Harrison is struggling to keep up with the score.
It's the sort of rally to the suiting Lana. Lots of that pace on it.
And now 5-3.
So it's susceptible to a few tins in there as well, the way style of play.
You almost want to say to Lana, just chill, hold on,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
I don't think she has any other style of play.
Yeah, no. Oh.
Kaitlyn. 6-3.
That's a good shot. A little bit of a fist pump there as well.
7-3.
A bit of a run on here. 7-3
Yeah.
up.
Just, what's she done?
8-3.
Breaking the string.
I couldn't really see a
Frame,
broken
maybe.
one, but I mean, she is hitting it hard. You never know what she'll have broken in the racket. So we do have a new weapon of choice, and just warming up that rack a little bit.
One of the nice new head frames by the looks.
Yeah.
Hard to give the sponsors a plug.
Yes, yeah, she's got it on her back and works for them as well.
Yep.
That's a good shot. I mean, she knew that
9-3.
Lana was coming up close behind her, but the punch on that, not much of a swing.
No.
It's out in front, so you can direct it wherever you want. It's a really good couple of squash strokes there.
10-3. Game ball.
just the look on Kaitlyn's face, steely determination.
Yeah, it's a lot of determination. He wants this game.
Really using that forehand very well, playing down the wall. And really, she's vocal about it. I'm pretty happy with that as well. So John Fletcher, as we come into the third game, we saw a real determined effort there from Kaitlyn Watts. She was a little bit vocal as well, which is great. Nothing wrong with that.
She certainly gives it all on her court, that's for sure. It's going to be interesting to see how this game starts. The first few points are going to be critical for either.
Perhaps what she saw was, hey, I can do this.
She's got that belief.
There may have been a little bit of self-doubt to start with. Oh, that's the wall, that's the zero. And how would you consider this court plays? Well, you haven't been on it yet, have you? Did you play your first match on it?
I did. It's certainly got a few quirks. A lot of people get surprised by the roof when they try and play a few lobs.
Yeah, no, so what is it with the roof? There seems to be something slightly different with it.
Yeah, the beam in the middle tends to get right in the way of a good lob. Not that I hit many of those myself.
Right.
They do come in the way. Lob's not
But
going to be an
yours
issue.
more in the tin or the roof?
Yeah, mine's not the other problem. Getting a bit too lower, but and the way that Lana plays, it's not going to be much of an issue for her either. But, no, it plays well. It's a nice court, very true.
Really forcing the error there. Kaitlyn Watts staying in it. You can see the tactics that Kashif has told her, or she's taken on the tactics herself. She knows to keep Lana moving.
Just trying to keep it deep, keep the pressure on Lana, and wait for the errors which Lana's been giving her.
And that 4-zip lead, that's significant. This will be playing on the mind of Lana Harrison at the moment.
She's going to have to work hard these next couple of points to try and get back in it, otherwise it's going to start getting away from her quite early. Oh, that's
Smart play.
nice.
Very smart play.
And out, 1-5.
Okay, that was significant. It was tight to the tin as well. I was
Yes,
thinking, did that hit the top of the tin or not?
I think Kaitlyn kind of lost sight of that one.
Yeah. There is a certain number of shots when they are quite tight like that, that certainly when you're up here, it can be a little more difficult to actually tell.
No doubt.
You didn't need to go for that.
Yeah, can just punch that up the wall, get into a better position.
Now, between Timwa and I, we heard a slightly different noise from the front wall. It almost sounded like it was hollow. We may have been hearing things, but we both agreed it was a slightly different noise. So you didn't hear that when you were playing?
No, I don't hit as hard as those guys. Mine that sound.
7-1.
It's going to be a hard one. What do you do if you're in this situation? You're down 7-1. Do you keep on fighting for each point, or do you just think, I'll go for a few and see what happens?
You kind of want to be able to go into the next game with the.
8-1.
I mean, you
with a
don't
good
like to admit
mindset.
it, but that happens.
No, I think you want to try and make them work hard for the next few points. If you can kind of let them know you're not going to give it away easy. Maybe put a bit of a fright into them, but you don't want to go into the next game leaving the game 11-1 or 11-2.
Right.
Yeah. It gives you to play too much confidence. Even if you lose 7 or 8 by the end of it, at least you put a little bit of doubt in their mind that it's not going to be as easy as they think.
It's a nice change of direction.
Yeah.
The thing is there, she
9-1.
didn't mind taking it on the full, which gave her that extra time to place the ball where she wanted.
Not enough with it from Lana. It's too much down the middle. Kaitlyn, good volley there.
Oh,
Nice shot.
play. Almost a double take there on the
Yeah.
forehand in the end.
That's very well played.
So back in with this, the fourth game of the women's second semi-final, and it is 2-1. Kaitlyn Watts against Lana Harrison. And what we're seeing, John Fletcher, is Kaitlyn really playing smart squash.
Yeah, very much so. 11-1 in that last game.
Well, it was a controlled game,
It
wasn't
was, yeah. Wasn't pushing it too much, getting in the right positions.
She got out to such a good run, and then it was always going to be difficult for Harrison to come back.
It's hard sometimes when you get down a little bit, you can try a bit too hard to get back, and it makes things a little bit worse.
One of the longer rallies of the match so far. There was good use of a lob in there from Watts, which is good to see.
Yeah, well, just mixing up the pace a little bit of it. Yep, no, it's just certainly got to be careful. You know, Lana's capable of coming back into this match, definitely. So.
Not quite.
2-1.
Well, so far, we've only seen 3 points, but we have seen a more patient
Yes,
Lana
yes.
Harrison so far.
A couple of drops there from Lana.
Yeah, a lot more variety in her game so far.
Needs to mix it up a little
You
bit.
don't have to hit everything hard,
Yep, that's
although that was.
Yep. But she set herself up to get in a good position
Yeah.
to be able to hit that hard.
The ball stayed low.
Yeah.
So good use of depth by both players so far in this rally. Good play. That was a long rally.
Great rally there.
What we saw was
And out,
good
2-3.
depth, a couple of lobs thrown in, and then just getting himself into position.
Yeah, both very patient there, waiting for it, mixing the pace up, and then when they're in position, have a go. It's good to see from Harrison. She's sort of a lot more patient on that one. Waiting
Oh,
for
that
it.
one died.
Fortunate bounce there, the corner.
Oh, good to have local squash, and of course we had. Oh, that's okay.
Stroke.
No argument on it, but
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You-
4-3.
you agree with that?
There's no way Watts had a chance to play that one. Loose from Harrison. Just needs to get that patient back. She had a couple of races ago.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that is a string this time.
5-3.
It's 2 down. We'll see how deep the bag is.
3 rackets. 4 rackets. I don't know, just line them up. Go back to the blue one again. We had a green, then we've gone blue back to green. And like I said, it's good to see local squash or domestic squash and people getting PSA ranking points. But also, we had last week Joelle came making the semi-finals of the Black Ball Open, beaten in the end by the world number 1. And starting from Monday morning our time, I think it's 6:30 our time, will be Paul Cole up against his Swiss opponent Muller, I think it is. And Paul wanting to avoid Assal in Egypt until the final, I think they could play. So that's about it.
Yes, it'd be good to see Paul back on court again. It's been
Yep.
a bit of a break from the World Tour, for the events, but we've got a few more scheduled after this one as well. So it's certainly good to see Joelle play well during the
And
week,
out, 4-5.
making the semi-finals.
So that'll be good to see Paul again. So if you want to see that, it'll be on Facebook for PSA Squash. And then if he makes the quarters or semis, it'll be on Sky Sport as well. Oh, nice shot. Well played. Another well-constructed point.
And out, 6-4.
It's kind of a little bit different to how we saw Wills Donnelly against Zach Miller. Zach had been trying to predict what he does.
I don't think many people, I don't think Zach knows what we're doing all the time.
Well, that's a nice shot. Really well done. Good maturity in the points.
She's setting herself up for these ones nicely.
Nice drive.
And now, 5-7.
Good change of direction.
Yeah.
And now, 8-5.
Harrison just needs to get a bit more depth on those ones. They're coming up a bit short in the cross courts. Not putting Watts under too much pressure.
Well, let's see how the pressure is for Lana Harrison to come back in, and also the pressure to win. For Kaitlyn, it's not
Yep.
easy.
The hardest point to win is always that last one, so you're never out of a game.
That's a
Nice.
better shot.
And now, 6-8.
So far, Kaitlyn Watts has had, well, in that point, she was forward on the tee all the time.
Yeah, there's a few wild ones there from Lana, but getting a bit too long on some of those. She plugging away those back corners, get herself in a good position so she can get her kill shot like that.
Yes, left. Kaitlyn to the right. 9-6.
Just getting a little tangled up.
Bit of
I think.
traffic there.
Yeah. And I don't think there's anything too malicious in that.
No, just good interference.
Yes, left.
She got away with it that time, Kaitlyn. It was, yeah, the call was you need to play.
Yeah. I think she might feel a little aggrieved as well. She picked that one, was standing there ready to go.
And Lana Harrison leaving that one very late. Doesn't mind throwing herself at the ball.
That's for sure.
Come off okay, we've seen a couple of those dives so far. Oh, what was going on there?
And now, 10-7. Match ball.
Just one of those ones that was tight. You just
Yeah.
had and hope it didn't come off.
Well, Kaitlyn Watts, if she wins this
8-10.
point,
Match ball.
I'm just trying to remember. I know she's been in satellite finals. I'm trying to think. I think she made a challenger final once before that I know of. We'll have to recheck on that. Certainly some satellites.
Oh,
That's a really good shot. And a good way to finish off as well.
Very well played there by Kaitlyn.
Pretty happy with that.
Sets up a big final tomorrow with them.
Yeah.
Colour.
Exactly. So good to see Kaitlyn Watts, the 20-year-old there, beating Lana Harrison in 4.